Pledge, please.
Absolutely. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Have a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Ms. Shafinsky, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Billette?
Here.
Ms. Fadum?
Here.
Mr. Giovanni?
Here.
Mr. Holland?
Here.
Ms. Keegan?
Here.
Mr. Kraft?
Here.
Mr. Kayyum?
Yes.
Ms. Fargo Hefner?
Here.
Mr. Warren?
Yes.
All
Here.
present.
Need a motion to approve the minutes of June 4th, 2026.
So moved.
That's a
Second.
motion and a second, all at once. Voice acclamation, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Courtesy of the floor. First person I have is Reginald. Thank you. Can you spell it down when you come up to the mic? You have 5 minutes, sir.
My name is Reginald Bellin. I'm a Northampton County resident, 2116 Northampton Street, Easton, PA 18042. I'm here to speak about being considered on the Human Relations Commission. I've been here for 10 years. I've worked in government affairs, public policy, working with elected officials on the state, local, and federal level to bridge complex issues that this Human Relations Commission will be facing in the complaints that come before. My advocacy experience has allowed me to work at the intersection of community needs and public policy, helping evaluate important conversations around economic opportunity, housing, community development, and issues impacting our residents here in the Commonwealth. I believe these skills would allow me the opportunity to make a meaningful contribution to the Human Relations Commission's mission of promoting and understanding, addressing discrimination, and fostering a more inclusive Northampton County. I want to leave you with this quote. I thought it was fitting today. As I was coming here and earlier today, there was the Obama Presidential Library opening, and the former First Lady made a quote that I thought resonates well with us today and the Human Relations Commission. The former First Lady, Michelle Obama, said, "Folks seek to stifle speech, limit access to education, devalue diversity, and erase the inconvenient parts of our history." I think that's what this Human Rights Commission would be focusing on, and I would love to be a part of it to move forward our residents and to help our residents in Northampton County. Thank you.
Next on the list is a Tom Pritchard. Did I get that right? Pritchard.
Yes, my name is Tom Pritchett. I'm a resident of Easton, Pennsylvania. I live at 541 West Lafayette Street. I'm also a judge of elections for Easton Ward 3-4. This is a presentation I also made for the Election Commission already, but I figure if the Election Commission is going to address my concerns, it's going to need the support of the county government. Specifically, I'm concerned about the misinformation that's out there about elections. It's coming from both sides, and it's very much undermining the confidence that people have in elections. Personally, as an election judge, I can address some of those concerns, and I have been addressing them. But I think the county needs to do that. And here's the things I think they need covered. For example, how the machines are prepped and the e-books are prepped. We had problems with our e-books this last election. How the elections themselves are conducted. I'm very familiar with that being a judge of elections. For example, the pre-reports that are done on each machine, the paper ballots that are the backup, the post-election reports, which go to multiple locations, the backup, and the use of provisional ballots. A third thing that needs to be addressed is how the county deals with mail-in ballots. When I'm talking about addressing, I'm talking about letting the public know, because it's really not out there. For example, how the ballots processed, they come in, signatures are checked. If they're not met, what happens? And then once the security ballot's taken out, what happens at then? When do they get counted and such? The same thing would apply to the ballots that are done in the, I assume they use, my understanding is they use the same mail-in ballot system for the on-demand voting. Do they get counted the same way? There also, a third point, provisional ballots, the process. How are what are the steps involved in processing a provisional ballot? My understanding the first step of review is at the registrar's office. If there's any questions, it goes up to the election commission. But this is my understanding, and then potential challenges. Again, this information is not out there. I'm learning it now as an election judge by asking questions. And the last thing that really is not out there at all is the process and the tabulation of votes. For example, and when we go to tabulation and certification results, are the results on the USB drives from each machine checked against the paper ballots? Is that done for every machine? Is that done for a subset? My understanding, a subset of the paper ballots are done for machines. They're checked against the totals of machines. That's my understanding. I don't know that for sure. The public doesn't know that. And are there some, and just what are the overall QC checks to make sure that claims like people hacking into the ballots is not occurring? And those are my comments. Thank you very much for your time.
Next on the list, we have Tara Zarinsky. State your name, where you live.
I just want to say I'm Tara Zarinsky, Linden Street, Bethlehem. So Graysdale has deep roots in Northampton County's public service tradition. The county's history tells us a story that actually begins in 1837 when the county purchased land from the Moravian congregation, and that it has ever since been a place of good works and caring. Graysdale did not begin as a business venture. It began as a community response to a need. That history matters to me because it reflects something that's still true today. When people are vulnerable, when families are struggling, when someone has nowhere else to turn, the community has a responsibility to respond with dignity and care. Graysdale is the modern successor to that almshouse that was formed those years ago. It is the successor to that obligation. I learned the truth in the hardest way possible when my mom needed long-term care. When my mom had memory issues and was losing control, not only of her mind but her body, we made the difficult decision to put her in a nursing care facility. I visited her. There were no nurses around, and maybe one nurse on the floor at the time and another sitting at a station. I looked for a nurse and asked if I could have a copy of the medication so that I could see if she was getting her regular injections of insulin. I noticed that she had been given something different. It was a medication to calm her down, and they said, that's normal. I didn't want to leave her there, but I had little choice. My father could no longer care for her, bathe her, change her, or provide all the care she needed in the home. She was in a room with another elderly woman, and when I visited another time, that woman was wailing because she had COVID. She had a high fever, and she had started hallucinating. Only a curtain separated them in that room. I didn't want to leave my mother. Eventually, my mother contracted COVID, and I could not visit. She survived COVID, but the next time I saw her, she was emaciated, weak. She had sores from not being moved, and things were missing from her room. There were so few people on staff that I couldn't even find someone, and I didn't want to leave her. Once, they called after 10 p.m. asking if they had my permission to take my mother to the ER because her blood sugar was 600. I asked why she wasn't there already. They said she was sleeping at dinner, and that's why they hadn't given her insulin. But when they tried to wake her to check her blood, she was not conscious. Their monitors only read to 600, and by the time I saw her in the hospital, her blood sugar was almost 900. She was actually in a diabetic coma, and her organs were shutting down, and she probably wouldn't survive. They were unsure whether she had a heart attack, and when they did the chest x-ray, they determined that she probably had cancer. The prognosis was not good. We gathered the family the next day. She had her last rites, and as my dad and I were talking at her bedside, talking about how unprepared we were for this moment, she miraculously woke up and said, "Don't let them take my house." Even then, she was concerned about the financial burden she might be leaving my father, and was concerned that even her living would pose not only the burden of care, but financial struggle. She would go on to live for another 3 months, but she wasn't going back to that not-for-profit. She was not going back to that for-profit nursing home. She had been on a list for Graysdale, and she was admitted when a bed was opened. She spent several months there, and my dad got to know the staff, the nurses. He knew the woman selling candy bars in the arcade. There were several who knew him by name and chatted with him and my mother. They wheeled her to the community room to see the Elvis impersonator. And in her mental deterioration from dementia, she thought it was Elvis. Her bed sores healed. She enjoyed the food. She was cared for, bathed, and treated with respect and dignity. And on her birthday, they came to her room with a cupcake and a candle. 4 nurses gathered to sing happy birthday to her, and she blew out the candle. A few moments later, she had forgotten and saw the cupcake. And she blurted out, "Why didn't anyone sing happy birthday to me?" And the nurses came back and did it again. And my dad visited her there every day until she passed. And I just want to say, in the end, when a family is faced with the crisis of no longer being able to care for the mother who raised them, the father who went to every Little League game, the brother who grew old with, who they thought they would grow old with, who they thought would live forever, when they're faced with that decision and they don't have tens of thousands of dollars to put in them in a managed care facility, they find a home in Graysdale because finance is never a barrier. Graysdale is a core mission because it is the modern county answer to an old county duty, caring for residents who need protection, dignity, and skilled support. Its history shows that Northampton County has been doing this work for nearly 2 centuries, from the Moravian-era origins to the home rule present time. Let us not be the governing body that turns our back on that legacy. Thank you.
Next, we have Marjorie Duranzis. Did I get that right?
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Margie Duranzis, and I reside at 50 Claremont Avenue in Palmer Township. For many years, I have been following Northampton County Council's discussions regarding what to do with Graysdale. I was here last night for the personnel meeting to hear the latest iteration of proposals. As a certified boomer, I have recently taken the question more seriously, as I've made long-term care decisions for aging parents, and with the looming prospect of my own long-term care. So recently, I took a deep dive into the needs of my aging peers and the availability of the full continuum of care in Northampton County, both for those fortunate enough to have the ability to pay privately and those less fortunate individuals who have no financial assets and will rely on Medicaid for their care. There are 10,309 residents of Northampton County, age 65 and older, currently receiving Medicaid benefits. According to Pennsylvania Department of Health, outside of Graysdale, there are 980 skilled nursing beds which are Medicaid certified. Graysdale has 688 certified beds by itself. Of the 7 private skilled nursing facilities accepting Medicaid patients, 6 of those are for-profit businesses. The only nonprofit facility besides Graysdale, found this hard to believe, is Moravian Hall Square, with a current Medicaid population of 7 out of 61 available Medicaid certified beds. Graysdale that gives them 10% of their total census. By comparison, Graysdale currently has a Medicaid population of 93% of its total census. You see, unlike Graysdale, there is no mandate for these private facilities to accept Medicaid patients, and most of them choose to take private pay patients whenever possible. As private pay equity takes over more nursing care, studies show higher mortality rates, reduced staffing, and increased costs as a result. None of these facilities can compare in size to Graysdale, with the largest among them only offering 227 skilled nursing beds. But you know what each of these facilities have that Graysdale does not? A CEO who has no other responsibilities other than the nursing home. It was shocking to me when Executive Zirinsky presented the graph at a previous meeting showing Director Wondolowski's supervisory responsibilities in comparison to other members of the executive team. Every county in Pennsylvania has a human services department and also a communications office. You know what they don't all have? One of the largest nursing homes in Pennsylvania to run. You know what else the private nursing facilities in Northampton County have that Graysdale does not? A marketing and communications team driving business to their facilities. I understand that there are concerns with Graysdale, but I also hear Executive Zirinsky taking steps to address them. If we hope to entice private pay patients while abiding by our county's obligation to its neediest residents, we need to put staff in place who can make that happen. We want Graysdale to be among the first choices for care, and that can happen with the support of an administrative team dedicated and fully focused on that proposition. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to address County Council tonight? Yes, sir. Five minutes.
Joe Welsh, East Allen Township. I thought it would be appropriate, since this is the last meeting of council before Independence Day, to say a few words. And when I say Independence Day, the Independence Day that I'm referring to, of course, is tomorrow, Juneteenth. Juneteenth is the holiday where we celebrate coming to reckon with the original sin of the United States, which was slavery. And I know there may be some people who may say, well, we're coming up on the 250th anniversary of the Declaration, and why bring this stuff up? But the fact of the matter is, our strength has always been that we confront our mistakes. We confront the good, the bad, and the ugly. We confront the good, such as Commissioner Giovanni and I, our hero of John Kennedy, and the mission to put a human being on the moon before the end of the 1960s. And I remember the pride in July of 1969. And we confront the bad, as I said, slavery, and we confront the ugly, and we're going to be confronting something ugly more and more as the year goes on, and that is with the cutbacks in House Resolution 1, that one big bill. Interestingly, this week, we had this split screen moment where we had the current administration commit the full faith and credit of the United States taxpayers to $300 billion in reparations, war reparations to Iran, to dig out of the current mess that we've gotten into. But later this year, we're going to cut back Medicaid, which serves the most needy people, seniors, children in our society, and you all are going to be stuck with the ramifications of that, because ultimately it will come down to the counties to handle the human disaster that that is going to bring to us. And so, as you consider the proposals that our county executive has brought to you to try to address a bunch of these issues, and in particular, the restructuring of Graysdale. And I noticed in the blogosphere that Mayor Panto of Easton mentioned his father being at Graysdale for 6 months and how he got to know the staff and how impressed he was with it. And I've had numerous relatives at Graysdale, and I will tell you that Graysdale and Cedarbrook are two shining stars that set the Lehigh Valley apart from other areas. And don't be fooled. Those are things that major employers, when they look to areas, look at with regard to quality of life. So what I urge you is that you please give Executive Zirinsky the tools that she believes she needs to meet these challenges. And, you know, I see the people out in the blogosphere, why didn't she fix Graysdale? Well, she's here tonight with a plan to do that. So please, give her the chance, give her the tools, and to follow up on some earlier comments, my favorite quote today from Michelle Obama, who was at the opening of the Obama Presidential Library on the eve of Juneteenth, was, "Hope is a choice. Voting is a choice. Being a decent human being is a choice." Thank you very much.
Is there anyone else who'd like to step up? Oh, here we go. We go. No, you're up. State your name, town you're from. Thank you.
Town or address? I'm sorry. Harry Faber, Bath. At the last meeting I attended regarding the Dixie Cups TIFs, Mr. Holland stated, quote, "This is how government is supposed to work. People are here expressing their opinions. We have varying opinions on the dais. People have contacted us. People have certainly contacted the newbies who didn't vote last time with passionate arguments, pro and against, and expressing their opinions, and that's how it's supposed to work. So I think we can take a moment and at least we can all agree that this is democracy, right? This is how it's supposed to work. And regardless of how the outcome is, I think we need to recognize that," end quote. And I don't bring this up to disrespect you, Mr. Holland. In fact, I share the sentiment. But I would like to respectfully push back on the idea that this is really what democracy looks like. This is what we are told democracy looks like. We are taught that from the moment we are born. If you said this is what bourgeois democracy looks like, maybe I wouldn't be giving this speech. What I witnessed at the last meeting I attended was a rare sight for me. I've been consistently attending council meetings all over the valley for 3 years now, from Bethlehem to Allentown, Northampton County, Lehigh County. Hell, I even attended a Quakertown meeting to show solidarity with the Quakertown Five, who were unjustly arrested by the corrupt police chief Scott McElry, who is still yet to face any consequence for assaulting children. From experience, it is fair to say that most councils vote overwhelmingly in favor of the ruling class interests. From approving the development of overwhelmingly unpopular and ecologically ruinous AI data centers or new child prisons, when it comes to the term development, councils typically approve. But when proposed with subsidizing a luxury apartment complex, you all decided not to. Development sounds nice on paper, and a lot of the time it actually looks good. But when we think about investing in the future, who is that future for? The development of luxury housing is already going to take place. It's not that we don't want more housing or more affordable housing, but when we look at that project, you were going to be subsidizing private capital's ability to accumulate. You would have been subsidizing landlordism. It is one thing to allocate government funds to the building of housing units which the government maintains ownership of and rents it out at artificially low rates as a means of counterbalancing the ever-increasing cost of rents and cost of living at large. But that is not what was going to happen, and you all made the right decision in saying no. I would like to quote the beginning of the song Buffalo 1981 by Haley Hendricks and Max Garcia Conover. Quote, "Hungry people want food, so the wealthy make committees. And they say things like the problem is single-parent families, and the parents they imprison weren't going to be good anyway. And the parents they employ should be grateful when they're paid. The ruling class of this country historically treats the working class, who are paid starvation wages and who are barely able to reproduce themselves day in and day out, as though they should be grateful to even have a job." I saw a photo of an old Black Panther poster, and it's still just as relevant today. It said, quote, "If you're unemployed, it's not because there isn't any work. Just look around. A housing shortage, crime, pollution. We need better schools and parks. Whatever our needs, they all require work. And as long as we have unsatisfied needs, there's work to be done. So ask yourself, what kind of world has work but no jobs? It's a world where work is not related to satisfying our needs. A world where work is only related to satisfying the profit needs of business. This country was not built by the huge corporations or government bureaucracies. It was built by people who work. And it is working people who should control the work to be done. Yet as long as employment is tied to somebody else's profits, the work won't get done," end quote. Politics is control over planning. Politics is about the direction of society, and the direction of society is primarily about the development of the productive forces. That is why we come to these meetings. We are attempting to guide the planning of our local society. But as most regulars of these meetings have experienced, at least from my group, the public has no actual power to decide yes or no. This system allows elected officials to dictate. The power to say no is a prerequisite for consent, and consent is a prerequisite for democracy. Democracy cannot just be in the ballot box, but it must be extended to the realm of the economy. The people need democratic control over institutions that shape the creation, flows, and use of money. I began attending these meetings fighting for a ceasefire resolution and an end to our local complicity in the joint U.S.-Israeli genocide in Palestine. Most recently, we witnessed our government spend $80 billion of taxpayer money to illegally bomb Iran, and now the federal government agreed to pay $300 billion for the reconstruction. Imagine what the world would look like if our resources and wealth went to building a sustainable mode of existence instead of the constant destruction of life and the planet for the profit of a few. A survey from back in 2019 showed that 59% of Americans are just one paycheck away from homelessness. And it is clear as day that the economy has only gotten worse. The rich get richer while the poor get poorer. Another way to say this is capital and power continue to accumulate because of the super exploitation of the working class and the environment. So instead of subsidizing luxury landlordism, Northampton County should start exploring the funding of universal basic services. Social service guarantees will provide safety nets for that 59% and simultaneously uplift the most marginalized and oppressed in our society. And I just want to say something else I've been thinking about. And I understand the sentiment behind Make America Great Again, where it came from. It's a recognition that things are messed up. It's an appeal to a lot of the nationalistic propaganda we've been stuffed with our whole lives. But I believe instead of looking back at a time that never really was, I believe we need to look forward and be visionaries. It's time to make America just for once. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council President Kraft, members of council and staff. Tonight, I want to focus my report on Graysdale. At Graysdale, there is actual progress within what seems like a series of setbacks. Not to minimize the significance of those setbacks, but these important issues require transparency, accountability, and ongoing action to mitigate. Often they are issues that arise from circumstances created several years ago, but when we only focus on the outcome and not what got us to that point, we fail to identify the root cause. Still, we must persist and root out that which does not serve our efforts to renew the public trust in Graysdale. First, it's important to start with the facts. Graysdale completed its annual licensing survey with the Pennsylvania Department of Health in early May and received very positive feedback. Most notably, the facility showed significant improvements over the past year, reducing total citations from 14 in 2025 to just 4 in 2026. This is a quantifiable improvement and signals that things are changing. Maybe not as quickly as some would like, but improving nonetheless. Those 4 citations were largely technical in nature and did not result in harm to residents. They included issues such as missing stop dates on physician orders, documentation errors within the minimum data set system, and a staffing ratio imbalance on a single shift, where overall staffing levels were actually above required thresholds, but not aligned in the specific aide to nurse ratio for that shift. Importantly, none of these findings reflected a failure to provide care or resulted in adverse outcomes. When compared to peer facilities, Graysdale performed better than both regional and broader benchmarks. With 4 citations, Graysdale was well below facilities such as Easton Skilled Nursing, Cedar Brook, and Bethlehem area facilities, and significantly below both the state average of 9.3 and the national average of 15. That progress did not happen by accident or without great effort to implement change. Over the past year or 6 months, Graysdale has implemented substantial quality improvement reforms. We strengthened our quality assurance and performance improvement program by conducting regular self-assessments and embedded QAPI into daily operations. It's a quality assurance improvement plan to daily operations rather than treating it as a periodic exercise. I believe this is something Mark discussed in previous meetings with council, given that he has been attending the QAPI meetings. We restructured performance improvement teams to include frontline staff closest to the issues, improving root cause analysis and long-term solutions. We joined the CMS Mid-Atlantic Quality Improvement Network to align with national best practices, and we implemented critical element pathways, the same tools used by state surveyors, so that our staff are evaluating care through the same lens as the regulators. We also improved oversight by centralizing plan of correction management, conducting weekly audit reviews, and ensuring every department has clear performance measures in place. Staff training, competency, you know what I'm saying. There are competency evaluations, thank you, and annual reviews. They've all been reinforced. However, despite this clear progress, I also need to address serious recent incidences that resulted in additional citations and the issuance of a provisional 2 license by the Department of Health for another 6-month period. At a high level, these incidents involve 1 case of resident elopement and another involving contraband brought into the facility following an independent leave of absence. While I will not go into personnel-specific details in this setting, I want to be clear about what happened and what we have done in response. A full root cause analysis was conducted. One of the most significant findings was tied to our historical admissions practices. Both of these cases involved residents who were admitted prior to this administration and prior to the implementation of stricter screening protocols that are now in place. At that time, it is my understanding that the previous administration was focused on increasing the census to match the budget, which assumed a 520 census but rarely hit that target. Today, we have shifted that approach. While we remain committed to serving residents in need, we must balance that mission with our responsibility to ensure the safety and stability of the entire resident population. Let me be clear, though, that we don't turn people away because of financial reasons, only for the purpose of risk mitigation. Under the leadership of Administrator Michelle Morton and our new Director of Admissions, Sarah Rodriguez, who took over for Jennifer Stewart King, we have implemented a structured admissions screening system that includes clear criteria, escalation protocols, and defined thresholds for when an admission requires additional review and when it must be declined. We have also taken significant corrective actions beyond those required by the state. We transitioned secured dementia units from keypad access to badge access to prevent elopements. We strengthened policies around wander guards, leave of absence procedures, and contraband prevention, including room searches when appropriate. We implemented stricter accountability measures to ensure residents are tracked throughout the day, including during meals and transitions. We updated protocols to one-to-one observation and door alarm response. I actually witnessed the alarm going off when I toured there this week, and I assure you that person did not get away. In addition, we established weekly risk management meetings to proactively review high-risk incidents and near misses, ensuring that issues are identified and addressed before they escalate. Staff across the facility have undergone retraining, including targeted in-service sessions focused on these updated procedures. The Department of Health has reviewed and accepted our plan of correction, and we are actively working to demonstrate sustained compliance. I want to be very clear. A provisional license is serious. A provisional 2 license is even more serious, and we are treating it as such. But it is also important to understand the full context. The deficiencies cited were tied to legacy issues that we have already taken steps to correct, and the systems now in place are stronger, more structured, and more accountable than they were a year ago. We cannot change past admissions decisions, and in many cases, discharging residents is not an option. What we can do, and what we are doing, is to manage current risks responsibly while ensuring that future admissions align with our capacity to provide safe and appropriate care. Graysdale is improving. The data shows it. The operational changes support it. And our responsibility now is to ensure that this progress is sustained, transparent, and accountable. That is why I asked to create the Department of Graysdale Continuum of Care, charged with the responsibility for the performance, function, and management of any county-owned facility within the continuum of care to ensure the adequate residential and patient care for medically or financially needy residents in Northampton County. This council did this. Now we need you to accept the job descriptions this administration believes will support the ongoing efforts to improve the care, safety, and culture of Graysdale now and in its future. This is not an abstract issue for me. My family experienced firsthand the difference between for-profit facilities and Graysdale. I told you my story in public comment. In the private facility, staffing was thin. My mother's care lacked the dignity she deserved. But at Graysdale, she was treated with respect by staff who knew her, and our family found real peace of mind during an incredibly difficult time. Under Home Rule Charter, Northampton County has the flexibility to shape Graysdale more intentionally. That matters because Graysdale should be treated not as a passive expense, but as a public asset that strengthens our continuum of care and serves residents now and in the future. County-run long-term care is a core responsibility. Graysdale belongs at the center of that mission because we have a duty to protect older adults, people with disabilities, and families who need a safety net when private options fail. Its value extends beyond the residents inside the facility. A strong county home stabilizes the care system, reduces avoidable hospital use, supports family caregivers, and preserves county oversight of quality and accountability. For those reasons, establishing the continuum of care and putting the right leadership in place is critical now. We have the ability and the responsibility to move it forward, to protect this important public asset and bring it fully into the modern system of care that reflects the needs of our community. Outside of Graysdale, our human services departments continue to do important work across the community. And I know that the work that we are doing in other departments is really important. It's really important that we certified the elections. It's really important that we hired an elections technology specialist. It's really important that that person will start next month. And it's really important that the deputy registrar positions will be posted promptly after your approval to upgrade those positions. All of these things that happen in the county are important and immediate. It seems that everything that we do is necessary to improve now. Everything takes time, and it takes effort, and it takes a workforce. I expressed my concerns of how many people Ms. Wondolowski had to manage. I expressed my concerns about how much of her time has been devoted to Graysdale, pulling her away from other things that are just as important. My cabinet, my team, has been at Graysdale. I can't even tell you how many times, but what I do know is that every time I go to Graysdale, they tell me that I've been there more than any other county executive. I have a plan, and I've presented that plan to you in the continuum of care. And my ask today is that you allow me to try and shape the future of this home, of Graysdale, the Dale of Grace that we purchased from the Moravians in 1837. It is our moral obligation, it is our duty, and it is a core function of this mission that we have engaged in as elected officials in Northampton County. And now, I'm going to ask you to call an executive session so that we can talk about personnel issues.
A motion to go into an executive session?
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Warren,
Do we need a voting or
Yes.
just left the seat?
That's what we're doing.
Ms. Keegan,
I'm new here.
Dargo Hefner,
Yes.
Mr. Billette,
Yes.
Tatum,
Yes.
Yes.
Giovanni,
Yes.
Holland,
Yes.
Mr. Kraft,
Yes.
Mr. Qayyum.
Yes.
Passes by a vote of 9-0.
Let the record show we went into executive session at 7:14 PM.
Top two?
Go ahead. Thank you.
Just sitting around to talk about, yeah, yeah, so. What are you gonna do? Right. To deal with what? Oh, yeah. I mean. No, he's from back, but. Right, yeah, I just do it. You know, like, we haven't really had that whole conversation. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, she is very, I don't know. Yeah. So what happened when you suggested your ad hoc committee? Today. Yeah. I usually driving here. Yeah.
My problem is I need that time, I can afford it.
Speak with her, and then I wound up. Yeah, I'm just wondering. What do you think? That's the problem. What do you say you were wrong? That's the problem. You don't think it's about you're going to start calling people. It's doing okay. But my first response was no.
Graysville, yeah.
It's Lehigh Valley. It's not, there's no Northampton person. Well, so Grace is on the EUC. She's treasurer of the ONDEP. I think even, I don't know if she's president or vice president. I think Chad would be the case. But yeah, they're active. They're vigorous. They're just not doing great. Tuesday? Oh my God. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Young people throw it on me. Young people. He is perfect. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he's a good person to reach out to. Yeah. Interested? I will go. Yeah. Yeah. How many boys do you have? Two. My oldest is 32, 23. Right. You have to get, like, they're probably, well, the upper one. Yeah. Cross. Did you just
Yes. I have 4 because they're suspending it.
I still have to do my master's thesis. Oh, yeah. That's a bulk of my job. That's how difficult it is.
And now, when he goes in the jail, though, don't they have to have the
No action was taken. Yeah, no action. I'd like to call the meeting back to order at 19:47. No votes and no action was taken. Thank you. Next is old business. Is there any other old business to discuss? Seeing none, new business. First thing we have is a consideration of the executive's appointment, reappointments, resolutions, human relations commissions, workforce board, Lehigh Valley. Mr. Giovanni, can you introduce the resolution, please?
Yes, I will, and I apologize if I don't pronounce some of the names correctly, so just, Resolved by Northampton County Council that following individuals shall be confirmed in their appointment, reappointments as indicated hereafter. Human Relations Commission appointments, and these terms are 1 year, 2 year, and 3 year. First one is Sylvia Keverent, Bethlehem, PA, term to expire 6/30/27. Grace Cramsey Smith, Bethlehem, PA, term, also term to expire 6/30/27. Terms expire 6/30/28. Peter Rissotas, Easton, PA, 18042, and Victoria Ofthofer Cordora. Also Jessica Teal Sadler, Wingate, PA, Mark Singer, Easton, PA, all of the terms to expire in 28. In 6/30/29 terms to expire, we have Patricia Barnkowski, Wingate, PA, 18091, Rinaldi Bellon, Easton, PA, 18042, Thomas Raymond Drubrill, Bethlehem, PA, 18020, Arlene Eiffel Leon, Easton, PA, 18042, and Alina Kennedy, Bethlehem, PA, 18018, and last is Ron Moyer, Easton, PA, 18042. All terms expire 6/30/29. You move on to, yep, the Workforce Board.
You had all the three years, the 3 different years. Okay. Yeah.
The Workforce Board Lehigh Valley appointments, term to expire 6/30/27, and these are category changes. Current category is transportation. This one's moving to Housing and Public Assistance Agency. Lisa Nesbitt, Easton, PA, 18042. Term, reappointment, business category, Sarah Biggs, Bethlehem, PA, 18017, term to expire 6/30/28. Business category, Jane Brooks, Easton, PA, 18042, also term to expire 6/30/28. Next category is adult education / literacy, term to expire 06/30/30. Kenneth Nasaka, Northampton, PA, 18067. And the business category, Michael Woodland, Nazareth, PA, 18064, term to expire 6/30/30.
And that's them. Is there any discussion from county council about these appointments or reappointments?
Yes, I have some questions regarding Human Relations Commissions.
You have questions.
Yes,
To
questions.
whom?
County Executive.
Is a question about a particular person being appointed to the human?
No,
Because what
general.
we're doing
First,
is approving the people that are appointed now, not questioning the world in general.
No, about this human.
Which
Human
human?
Commission.
But is it
Yes,
is it
okay.
a person you're contending or a, because we're just appointing the people to the board, we're not appointing
How
the
it
makeup of the board.
no, how it reflect the diversity of protected classes, these appointments.
What? Can you
Okay.
please repeat the question? I don't
Okay.
believe you said that into the microphone, and I could not understand you.
Okay. Administrative code requires that commissions membership reflect diversity of protected classes,
Sure.
right? So how these appointments are reflecting to protected classes? This is a legal mandate, not a suggestion. I'm asking for assessment of how this slate of appointees meets that requirement.
It meets that requirement
Yes.
because the choices that we made are very diverse and very intentional.
Yes,
We chose,
there are 23 classes in our ordinance.
yep,
of
there's
diversity.
13 positions. So
Yes.
13 positions can't exactly represent 23 classes now, can it?
How many classes represent here? That's why I'm asking
I
you.
bet you at least 8. I mean, we also had 39 individuals who did apply for this position. So out of the 39 individuals who applied for the position, we chose 13 with the intention of diversity. And that was a choice in diversity of color, ethnicity, gender, occupation, because we didn't want, like, we had a number of people in the field of psychology, and we did not want every single one of the individuals to be, you know, a psychologist. So diversity of employment, geographic diversity, representing different parts of the county. I mean, I know there's gender, identity, diversity. I didn't ask anybody's Democrat or Republican, but I'm pretty sure that we're diverse in that region as well. We really tried intentionally to get as diverse a group of individuals as we possibly could.
How many Hispanic, Black, Asian communities members are here?
Yeah, I don't know if I can specifically give you the numbers. I believe there are 5 individuals of color. And I don't think that I could break that down into individual origins. Do you know what I mean? So, but that was one of the intentions that we had. I mean, of the 39 people, I would say that many, probably 2/3 of the individuals who applied might not have been of color, but might have also been diverse in other ways. So it's not just about color diversity. As I said, it's also about gender diversity, employment diversity, geographic diversity, political diversity, probably religious diversity. Although I didn't ask anybody to specifically identify any criteria by which we were choosing people, but we did try to be intentional with what we knew about each individual. And some people did self-identify in certain ways. And those individuals who did self-identify, we used their self-identification as part of our intentional process. Does that make sense?
3 out of 12 appointee appeared to be a person of color. Am I right?
5. I said 5.
Who they are?
I don't know specifically who they are from this list.
Yes.
I just know that there's 5. He does, and I said 5.
We also had a personnel committee meeting about this as well.
All right, come on, order.
Well, you know
point
what?
of order.
I can identify one individual in the room. Thank you so much.
Yes, I know.
And thank you so much for being here and being part of this community. I really am thankful. The gratitude.
Yes. Here are 3 people I know that they are, and out of 12, 9 people are with the same color. They don't have. So qualification is not. Qualification is that they should be a protected class. Those who could be discriminated. So that class people should get that appointment.
I also believe, I also believe disability is a protected class, is it not?
Yes. Yes,
So
exactly.
I'm not going to say which one of these people is the disabled one, but, you know, here we go.
So we could go down this rabbit hole forever. These people we're appointing are for the Human Relations Commission. By not being a certain color or religion, you're saying they can't do this job when a case comes in and they can't
What
sit
the law
back
says,
and-
I'm talking about the law. Ordinance says that
Sure.
there should be a protected class, not about that
Bro,
unprotected.
the appointee should be a
in
protected
23
class.
different kinds of people among
Have
them.
different kinds of
no,
people.
No others.
I mean, the person who wrote it sitting right next to you, maybe he
The
can.
ordinance does not say that every member needs to be a protected class. It simply says that a best effort should be made to ensure that the commission reflects the diversity of the protected classes.
We did our best effort with the 39 people that
You
were.
go to church? Did you go to temples? Did you contact with them?
What?
Did you go to?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
For this outrage, did you go to temple? Did you go to church? Did you go to other side where this Asian community, this African American community, and other community can be fined? Because
are you-
this
okay.
is your responsibility to find out the peoples.
Okay, I understand that you think it's my responsibility to literally recruit people from religious organizations, but I did not do that. And if that was part of my responsibility, I
talking about that
definitely missed
23
that in the
different kind
ordinance. And
The ordinance certainly does not establish that as a requirement.
I didn't
if I-
think so.
If I may, just for 1 second.
Okay.
It's kind of a misnomer, and I think a lot of people have this misconception. When we talk about protected classes, we're talking not specific communities or anything like that, but just
Yes.
the character, the characteristics. So race, sex, religion, things like that. Literally every human being is
a protected
in a
class. Thank you.
protected class because they are some sex or race or color or religion or lack thereof. So I want to make that clear, that when we talk about protected classes, it's the classification of a race or sex, not man, woman, not black, white, not Jewish, Christian, or anything like that.
That's a new definitions.
Are there any other questions about these appointments? Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Giovanni?
Yes.
Mr. Holland?
Yes.
Ms. Egan?
Yes.
Mr. Kraft?
Yes.
Mr. Qayyum?
Absent.
Abstain?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Fargo Hefner?
Yes.
Mr. Warren?
Yes.
Mr. Boulette?
Yes.
Ms. Tatum?
Yes.
Passes by a vote of 8-0 with 1 abstention.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is consideration of Graysdale Continuum of Care Job Description Resolution. Mr. Giovanni,
Thank
you
you.
have some water or something there?
I'm fine, we're good. All right. It is hereby resolved by Northampton County Council that the attached job description of Graysdale Continuum of Care Director, Exhibit A, shall be adopted. It is further resolved by Northampton County Council that the attached job description of Graysdale's Continuum of Care Deputy Director, Exhibit B, shall be adopted. Oh,
It's in the back.
okay. Sorry, there is a new description.
It was revised.
Revised description as attached. Sorry about that.
I think it was revised as to discussion from last night.
Do we have to add that as a word?
We have to add that as revised. Do we have to amend this?
No, because we'll just mark it as the.
Thank you.
She had it marked as revised or P or.
Did we already table it 2 weeks before about this job
Hold on.
descriptions and
What, do you
other-
have a question?
He's asking clarification.
What?
Yes,
the-
correct. Is the same issue we already tabled it?
No, it's a whole different, it's as you talked to last night when your solicitor told you, and that question was asked, we had tabled job descriptions for this, but now these are two totally new, different job descriptions that she's brought forward. And I imagine she withdrew the other two that were tabled. That's how we're
We need to
doing it.
table this issue too.
What?
Can I move?
Well, I'm the president. You're making a motion to table
Yes.
these?
Yes.
I have a motion to table. Is there a second? Hearing, there's a what?
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to table.
Can I ask a question?
No, you
Can't
have to
speak
call
once
for the
it's,
vote.
sorry.
Lori was a second.
Motion to table. Mr. Qayyum?
Yes.
Fargo Hefner?
Yes.
Mr. Warren?
No.
Mr. Boulette?
No.
Ms. Tatum?
No.
Mr. Giovanni?
No.
Mr. Holland?
No.
Ms. Keegan?
No.
Mr. Kraft?
No.
Motion fails.
Okay, there was a motion that failed. Now we have the discussion of the Continuum of Care Job Descriptions Resolution. Is there any discussion from county council members?
That's my question now.
Yes,
Can-
Mr.
Is it
Holland.
possible to, can we separate these and vote on these separately? If we're ready to approve one and not another one? Just because the deputy, I mean, this is the third iteration that we're seeing, and we're literally seeing it like right before the meeting.
Right,
so.
you can read it and see if you like it. I mean, they did it to your, I think to something, somebody pointed out last night, they rewrote it. Okay, so we're going to vote on the first, which is the Continuum of Care Director. So what? Right, the director, that one.
I just had some
So,
comments before we
Discussion
vote.
on the director,
Yeah, I had some comments.
because we're going to switch them. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to be voting for these positions for a number of reasons. One being that, yes, progress is being made at Graysdale, but, and as we know, we still have to continue to work to get better at Graysdale. Steps are being taken by the administration to address the long-term viability of Graysdale. And these initiatives, these positions here are going to be an additional tool and additional tools within the toolbox to make Graysdale better. The county executive and some of the members of council who were elected to their positions last year were done so under the guise that they want to make Graysdale better, and that as we move forward, there are additional challenges. And with those challenges come a different mindset of how we are going to address those challenges that are in front of us. I believe that these initiatives, these positions, I should say, and the overall initiative of the continuum of care that the county executive has outlined to us, that foundational principle, is actually going to make them, the administration, more accountable. So I don't know why we would oppose these positions. These positions will make the administration more accountable to this council. And I'm going to say this too. This council over the years has been good about saying no to things. Why? Because it's the easiest thing in the world to do in government. Easiest thing in the world to do is to say no, because then there's no accountability. But if we really want to move forward, if we really want to protect Graysdale, if we want to protect the county-owned and operated asset that it is for our most vulnerable citizens, and what so many of us on this dais have said, and we hold true to us, that there is a moral obligation for the residents there and for the most vulnerable in our community to receive good, solid care as they are getting older, going through short-term rehab, then I think we need to absolutely approve these positions. Again, this is going to make the administration more accountable at the end of the day. Let's actually say yes here to this. Let's say yes to these positions. Thank you, Mr. President.
Are there any other discussions from county council about this director, continuum care?
I just want to make the comment that we're just approving the job descriptions.
Yes.
Tonight. We're not
Yes.
approving the
That's what I was gonna
authorization
say,
of
too.
hiring anybody.
Absolutely. Yep.
Stole my thunder.
Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to clarify that.
You are absolutely correct. That this person has to come forward and be appointed by the executive, and we have to vet that, we have to approve that appointment for this position. It's like any other cabinet position, but we are doing the actual, what? Oh, okay. Mr. Holland, can you make a motion to split these two to be voted individually? Make a, well, we had to split.
Yeah, to make
Yeah,
a
which is
motion to do so.
Yeah, they're separate on the agenda, but I will make a motion to vote independently
The,
on
the pay
Have a
scales
second?
are separate, but the job descriptions are just one resolution.
Yes, we're going to vote separate
I
to
second.
separate. Second, call for the vote.
Mr. Holland?
Yes.
Ms. Fargo Hefner?
Yes.
Mr. Gillette?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Giovanni?
Yes.
Ms. Keegan?
Yes.
Mr. Kraft?
Yes.
Mr. Kayoum?
Yes.
Mr. Warren?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, now a vote on the resolution to make the continuum of care director. Just the language for the job.
You're not going to have him read the first paragraph? Okay, Mr. Giovanni.
What?
Yeah, you should read the first paragraph.
It is
Yeah.
First one?
It is
Again?
hereby resolved.
It is hereby resolved by the Northampton County Council that the attached job description of the Graysdale Committee of Care Director shall be adopted. There we go. All right.
Giovanni.
Yes.
Mr. Holland.
Yes.
Ms. Keegan.
Yes.
Mr. Kraft.
Yes.
Mr. Kayoum.
Yes.
Ms. Hefner.
Yes.
Mr. Warren.
Yes.
Mr. Boulette.
Yes.
Ms. Freeman.
Yes.
Adopted by a vote of 9-0.
Now we are open for discussion on the description of the Graysdale's Continuum of Care Deputy Director. And remember, we're voting on the language for their job description. Is there any discussion from council on the job description as presented by the executive?
So I'd like to make a comment, if I may. I did raise some concerns last night at the Personnel Committee meeting. I saw a lot of overlap between the Deputy Director position and the Communications Manager position that we established back in January. I did look over the revised job description that was submitted to us prior to the council.
I do see a number of improvements and an additional fiscal component that I think makes this much stronger. So I do appreciate the administration for addressing some of my concerns from last night.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion from county council about this job description? Seeing none, you want to read in the, it is further resolved?
It is further resolved by the Northampton County Council that the attached job description of Gracedale Condominium of Care Deputy Director shall be adopted.
Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Giovanni?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Mr. Kraft?
Yes.
Mr. Kayoum? Ms. Fargo Hefner?
No.
Yes.
Mr. Boulette?
Yes.
Adopted by a vote of 6 to 3.
Thank you. Consideration of personnel request resolutions, elections, upgrade of deputy election registrar, Mr. Giovanni.
Okay. It is here further resolved by the Northampton County Council that the position of one full-time deputy election registrar, pay grade CS/GR20, salary $47,873, total salary and benefits $81,709. In the Office of the Administration, election shall be upgraded to pay grade CS/GR26. Salary $63,102, total salary and benefits $98,116, effective June 19th, 2026.
Thank you, Mr. Giovanni. Is there any questions about this particular?
What new responsibility she has now to increase that salary?
I think they went over that responsibility last night, and you were in attendance, how much
Yes.
work there is
No,
at the
she-
county.
They
at
didn't
the,
mention that, what is responsibility, they just talk about that responsibility.
Okay, well, in the election commissions, the deputy registrar does just about as much as the deputy director. I thought this should have went up to 83,000 to more like match other deputy directors in the county, but it's at 63, so I don't.
Mr.
No,
President.
my question is about responsibility. What new responsibility she's taking
There
now?
isn't no new responsibility. It's the amount of responsibility that the job has now become and grown into with mail-in balloting and all the little local.
Mail-in
it's-
ballot. So those people who are also working with her, they should also get a raise too. Am I right? Because
you're not.
mail-in ballot, she's
You're
not.
not.
Other
You're not
people
right.
are opening
We're
that.
talking about the deputy director's position. We're not talking about the world. I mean, we can fix the world at the budget time, but what we're discussing right now on the table is the deputy director's increase. That's it. Nothing on the peripheral of the world of why everybody isn't getting paid $37 an hour. This is, if you have a question about the salary for the deputy director, this alone, that's a question. But I have to redirect you to what we're discussing and what we're talking about and what we're voting on. We're not voting on everybody in the office getting a raise. We're voting on this particular thing. That's, our hands are tied on it.
No, when you give examples that she will do these things, okay? So that's other people, automatically this thought will come. So other people who are also doing the same things. So why they didn't get that raise if she's doing that things? So this is not limited.
Not to
When you will
belabor
give
thing, but by
examples,
just by the
so I will
definition
follow
of the
that
job is
example.
more than just a regular worker. It's a deputy director of a department in the county.
Yes, I know.
Not talking about, somebody other. We're talking about, this is what,
Thank you.
are there any other questions about this? Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Giovanni?
Yes.
Deegan?
Yes.
Mr. Kraft?
Yes.
Mr. Kayoum?
Yes.
Fargo Hefner? Yes. Mr. Warren?
Yes.
Mr. Boulette?
Yes.
Ms. Fade?
Yes.
Mr. Holland?
Yes.
Adopted by a vote of 9 to 0.
All right, I'm on, it says B for some reason, but Gracedale, creation of Director of Continuum of Care? Didn't we do that? Okay, all right, go ahead. I thought they were usually together in the same package. Okay, all right. Do it the hard way.
Are we ready? It is hereby resolved by the Northampton County Council that the position of one full-time Gracedale Community of Care Director, pay grade CE/GRVI/1-A, salary of $109,632, total salary and benefits $148,249. In the Department of Gracedale of Continuum of Care shall be created effective June 19th, 2026.
Are there any discussions on this resolution? See none, call for the, what?
Yeah, I do.
Speak up, go
Maybe
ahead.
recognized.
Go ahead, you're recognized.
So I just want to back up a little bit and talk about where we are with Gracedale now before we move ahead with the continuum of care, because from a regulatory standpoint, I'm concerned that we may be running out of time in our non-compliance status that we are in with a provisional license. And I think it's worth considering focusing on resolving that before we move forward. Because if we don't resolve our non-compliance status, we're not going to have to worry about the continuum of care because we won't be able to have the license to do so. So what do I mean by that? So in a provisional license status, every day that goes by that we're not in compliance, there are remedies that are available to the Department of Health, which they have not instituted yet, but they certainly could at any day. That includes denial of new admissions to the facility. If we're denied admissions to the facility, we're not allowed to carry out the mission of Gracedale, which I'm going to read to you. Gracedale is a skilled nursing facility that serves the medically challenged and financially indigent residents of Northampton County and surrounding communities. The mission of the facility is to rehabilitate its residents to their highest practical level of medical, social, and psychosocial well-being. If we get into a situation because of noncompliance, fair or not, that's the situation we're in from the Department of Health, we're not going to be able to meet that mission because we may be denied admission at some point. Second to that, the other option is to deny payment. And again, we will not be able to comply with our mission to the residents of Northampton County if we're going to be denied payment for Medicaid or Medicare residents. There's a process where the agreement to provide payment for Medicare and Medicaid they can start that process to nullify and separate from that agreement based on noncompliance. So the other options are temporary management. If we don't get into compliance within a certain period of time, they can basically deem we are no longer capable of managing it ourselves and institute temporary management.
Mr. Holland,
yeah.
I'm going to rein you back in with a point of order.
Go ahead.
We are here to discuss the salary for a position. It's not even filled. We're not talking about all the other, hypothetical situations you're bringing up, that whether we make this position or not, oh my God, all of a sudden we aren't going to be able to have somebody because Gracedale is going to lose its license. We're here to vote, like I told Mr. Quayam, on what's in front of us, not this broad thing of how Gracedale's running and everything else. We're talking about the salary for this position right now. That's what's in front of us. So
Okay,
if you can direct it towards that, that would be great. I can understand everything you're saying about Gracedale.
Okay.
We all heard it over and over again, many times from you, about Gracedale being whatever.
I don't think so.
But we're here to vote on this right now, this salary for the position that we just created. That's what we're talking about right now. I can understand that Gracedale may this and may that, and all these hypotheticals may come true. I kind of think the glass is half full, not half empty. So, we as a council should be interested in all that. We're not the administration. We don't run that. We don't tell them how to run it. So, this is a tool in their toolbox that they want to use, and all we're talking about is the damn salary for the position that we just created, not all this other stuff. So, if you have anything to say about the salary and the position, this position, that would be great. But otherwise, I'm gonna have you
I think
point
he
of order.
should permit.
Are you done?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So the last 30 seconds of my comments was, I think that we need to focus on getting the facility back into compliance before we talk about approving positions to expand the services at Greystone, which I think is a great idea, but the timing of it is not good because we're in a situation here where we really need to fix this. So I apologize if I'm trying to educate council and/or the public on the potential ramifications based on my history and knowledge that I have.
I appreciate
No,
your
you
history
are
and
right.
knowledge. It's, you've worked there 10 years ago. I really appreciate all that. This is something the administration's trying to do, to have a director of Greystone that we haven't had ever. Any other department in the county has a director, and we're talking about salary. So I understand what you're saying. I mean, let's not do anything.
Well, you can
Let's just let it go
respectfully,
off the cliff.
you can respectfully disagree, which I would appreciate, but I don't appreciate the condensation.
I am
the condescending
respectfully
tone.
disagreeing. I'm just
Okay.
trying to redirect you with a point of order to what we're actually
Fair enough.
discussing here. Is there any other discussion at council about this?
Yeah, I'll just make a quick comment. So we approved the administrative code update to create the new department. We've approved the job description for the position. I think it's reasonable to approve the salary as well. I agree with what Mr. Holland is saying about the need to focus on fixing Graysdale, but I do think that this is part of that. When we voted on creating the new department, the comments I made at the time were, Ms. Wondolowski has the broadest portfolio of any cabinet member in this administration. She's overseeing 7 times the number of staff that any other cabinet member is. And I think creating a new director to oversee more directly what's happening at Graysdale will increase accountability, will increase the ability for the employees there to have the attention of an executive cabinet member. I think changing the management, changing the oversight, increases the accountability, and hopefully will go towards improving what's happening there. So that's my thought.
Thank you. Any other discussion from council? Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Giovanni?
Yes.
Mr. Kraft?
Yes.
Mr. Fayum?
No.
Ms. Hefner? No. Mr. Warren?
Yes.
Mr. Bulette? Yes. Ms. Fadum?
No.
Mr. Holland?
No.
Yes.
Passes by a vote of 5 to 4.
Okay, on to the next fun part. Creation of a Deputy Director of Continuum of Care. Mr. Giovanni, could you introduce the resolution, please?
Yes, I will. It is hereby resolved by the Northampton County Council that the position of one full-time Graysdale Continuum of Care Deputy Director, pay grade CS/GR 32/1-A, salary $83,172, total salary and benefits $119,741 in the Department of Graysdale. Condominium of Care shall be created effective June 19th, 2026.
Thank you, Mr. Giovanni. And again, this is a deputy director, and the salary is the start salary for every deputy director in the county. Is there any discussion on this particular resolution? Seeing none, call for the vote, please.
Mr. Giovanni?
Yes.
Mr. Fayum?
No.
Ms. Fargo Hefner?
No.
Mr. Warren?
Yes.
Mr. Bulette? Yes. Ms. Fadum?
No.
Mr. Holland?
No.
Yes.
Mr. Kraft?
Yes.
Passes by a vote of 5 to 4.
Next is consideration of the executive's recommendation for cabinet appointment resolution, Director of Fiscal Affairs. Mr. Giovanni, you're on again.
Resolved by Northampton County Council that Deborah Wellington shall be confirmed in her appointment as Director of Fiscal Affairs at a career exempt pay grade group V6, step 4-D, salary $125,108, total salary and benefits $164,923, effective July 6, 2026.
Any discussion on this resolution?
Yes.
Ms. Fargo Hefner.
I agree with the hiring of the position. I don't agree with the position upgrade. So I would ask that we amend it back to the original 109.63 and the first column.
Are you asking to amend this? I mean,
Yes.
the salary was discussed last night at the Personnel Committee and why it was where it was at.
I disagree with that, and I'm asking for an amendment.
Okay, your amendment is to change the salary
Back to the original,
109,632.
yes. And it's all outlined, so just,
Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Call for the vote, please.
Ms. Fargo Hefner.
yes.
Yes.
Giovanni.
Yes.
Mr. Holland.
Yes.
Ms. Keegan.
No.
Mr. Kraft.
No.
Mr. Kayoum.
Yes.
Mr. Warren.
No.
Mr. Boulette.
No.
Passes by a vote of 5 to 4.
Can I be, okay.
Yeah, I don't understand if we have a, yes, please, a legal issue, yes.
County executive is allowed to hire at step 3 if she so chooses. That's within her discretion. The amendment is putting it back to step 1.
That's, I know, that's why I don't know why we're doing it, but she can also increase her by so many steps without council approval right away, too, so it doesn't really matter, does it?
No, it's an exercise in
So,
futility.
I mean, they can do
so-
what they want, but she can still hire at the rate she wants because she can increase the salary.
Right, so I just needed to point that out legally.
I know, and this was what the salary was offered to the person to
No,
leave
I
their
need
job
to
and
know
come to
that
this
how
job, so.
she can increase the salary without our approval.
Increasing the salary.
No, you are
Just not
already
increasing the
decreased it.
salary.
you just,
Excuse me. We have the right to set the budget. We have the right to increase,
Absolutely.
and so I made the motion and it passed.
Yeah, it's passed, so
So
we're voting on the
now
amended.
we're voting on the amended
That's right.
motion to hire this person.
So we're voting on the amended motion, so is there any discussion on the amended motion?
So does that amended motion mean that this woman is only going to get hired at 109?
yes.
That means right now, yes.
Can the county
I'm hearing
executive
no.
just say, no, we're not doing that. I'm going to hire her at step 3 because I'm allowed to do that?
How come?
I
Okay.
disagree, and
How
where's
come?
our
That's a-
attorney?
Why, w-
What, don't we have the right to do our job? And if our job is this, and if you, like, you
That's what
can
we're
ask, we have the right of approval. I just added an amendment, and it just passed.
So we're approving
So are we gonna
to-
work this side of the room, or are we gonna work on this day?
So we're approving this position at a grand total of 148,249 with total with salary. No more.
I actually have a legal question, Mr.
What's that?
President. This was
That's your attorney.
advertised.
Then that's your attorney.
This was, okay, I will ask our attorney. This was, yeah, this was advertised, and from a legal standpoint, the salary was advertised as such. By doing this amendment, is there a legal issue here with this? I want to make sure that we are responsible in what we need to do here from a legal standpoint in terms of the actual
I
advertisement that
have
went
to
out.
ask a question on top of that, it's the same question, it goes along. Why was it advertised at that if it wasn't given to us and approved to be advertised at that?
Okay, listen, rein this all in. There was a motion on the table and a second. The salary is now set at 109,632. Now we're at the vote for approving this position at 109,632, the first step in a director's thing.
If you want to, I do believe that you can amend, I mean, this can be amended, just like you can amend ordinances, so I don't have a problem with the amendment. And essentially, whatever the implications the executive might take after the vote, I think you have now the amended resolution before you, and it's a
Right.
up or down proposition.
So now we're voting to appoint the deputy, confirm her appointment as Director of Fiscal Affairs at the amended rate. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Giovanni.
Yes.
Ms. Fargo Hefner.
Yes.
No.
Mr. Boulette.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Holland.
Yes.
No.
Mr. Kraft.
Yes.
Mr. Kayoum.
no.
Passes 6 to 3.
That was fun. Consideration of the executive's recommendation for cabinet appointment resolution, I did that already, forget it. Consideration of a resolution appointing Palmetto Posting, Inc. as the entity to complete the personnel services requirements as required pursuant to 72 PS 5860601. Can I have somebody introduce the resolution? Who?
We
Jason?
didn't talk about it in finance, but I'm happy to introduce it. Now therefore, it
Doesn't
is
say anything.
hereby resolved that that Palmetto Posting, Inc. is hereby appointed to complete all personal service requirements required by 72 PA CSA 5860.601.
Thank you, Mr. Bullitt. Are there any questions or discussion about this resolution?
I see Mr. Corrier is poised and ready.
Get him in a second. Do we have any questions for Mr. Corrier or anything? Seeing none, call for the vote, please.
Mr. Bullet?
Yes.
Mr. Warren?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Giovanni?
Yes.
Mr. Holland?
Yes.
Ms. Keegan?
Yes.
Mr. Kraft?
Yes.
Mr. Kayoum?
Yes.
Fargo Hefner?
Yes.
Adopted by a vote of 9-0.
Next thing we have is consideration of Area Agency on Aging Division Donations Resolution. Mr. Bullitt, could you please introduce the resolution?
Now therefore be it resolved that Northampton County Council authorizes the Department of Human Services Area Agency on Aging to accept $27,500 from United Way of the Greater Lehigh Valley, 1110 American Parkway, Suite F-120, Pennsylvania, 18109, for the Slate Belt Senior Center, $5,000 towards senior center materials and programming support, and $22,500 toward older adult programming and social connection.
Thank you. That's a very nice donation. Is there any discussion? Call for the vote.
Mr. Bullet?
Yes.
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 Mr. Kraft?
Yes.
Mr. Kayoum?
Yes.
Fargo Hefner?
Yes.
Yes.
Adopted by a vote of 9-0.
Next is consideration of a resolution in support of LGBTQ and Pride Month. Mr. Warren?
So we skipped.
Oh, I'm sorry. Consideration of an ACAP grant amendment requested resolution. Mr. Bullitt, could you please introduce the resolution?
Yes. Now therefore be it resolved by the Northampton County Council, one, that Northampton County Council hereby approves the Unangst Tree Farms contract amendment for a grassed waterway. Further, the Northampton County Executive, through the Office of the Program Administrator of the ACAP Grant Program in the Division of Farmland Preservation, is authorized to take any and all steps necessary to administer and complete Northampton County's obligations in this project. Two, the Northampton County Council further authorizes the Northampton County Executive to appropriate $35,000 of additional ACAP grant funds to complete the Unangst Tree Farms project. Should an amount be less than the sum approved by County Council, the remaining balance shall be placed back into the appropriate fund from which it was allocated.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, call for the vote, please.
Mr. Bullet?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Giovanni?
Yes.
Mr. Holland?
Yes.
Ms. Keegan?
Yes.
Kraft?
Yes.
Mr. Kayoum?
Yes.
Fargo Hefner?
Yes.
Mr. Warren?
Yes.
Adopted by a vote of 9-0.
All right, now number 8, consideration of a resolution in support of LGBTQ plus Pride Month. I ask Mr. Warren to introduce the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President. Whereas Northampton County Council welcomes and encourages diversity and inclusion within our community, and whereas June 28th, 2021 marked the 52nd anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising in New York City, which sparked the gay rights movement, and June is the nationwide month to recognize the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer questioning plus LGBTQ plus community. And whereas celebrating Pride Month raises awareness and provides support and advocacy for for the LGBTQ plus community, and is an opportunity to become educated, engage in dialogue, strengthen alliances, and build understanding. And whereas while there has been remarkable progress towards acceptance and equality, members of the LGBTQ plus community continue to face discrimination, intolerance, and hate. And whereas we must commit to supporting and accepting LGBTQ plus individuals, in particular our youth, who compared to their peers are far more likely to experience violence and bullying at school, to suffer from depression, to struggle with substance use, and to have attempted suicide. And whereas we must remain vigilant in deterring oppression and discrimination against people on the basis of sex, gender identity or expression, or sexual orientation. And whereas by protecting the rights of every individual, we enhance and strengthen the value of everyone throughout our entire society. And whereas in a landmark opinion, Bostock versus Clayton County 590 U.S. 644, 2020, decided on June 15th, 2020, the United States Supreme Court recognized that discrimination, quote, because of sex, was in violation of Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and that the term, quote, sex, was inclusive of actual or perceived sexual orientation or gender identity, and federal law prohibits all sex-based discrimination in employment and education. And whereas we affirm our support for LGBTQ+ residents in our community and stand with them to protect their civil rights and their ability to live openly, equally, and without fear. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Northampton County Council recognizes and supports the month of June as LGBTQ+ Pride Month, and we encourage all residents to celebrate and build a culture of inclusiveness and acceptance during this month and every month.
Is there any discussion? Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Warren?
Yes.
Mr. Giovanni? Mr. Holland?
Yes.
Yes.
Kraft?
Yes.
Mr. Kyle?
Yes.
Margot Hefner?
Yes.
Mr. Millette?
Yes.
Ms. Fadum?
Yes.
Consideration of Administrative Code Article 13, Contract Resolutions. A is Computing Technologies LLC. Mr. Villette, can you introduce the resolution, please?
Now therefore it is hereby resolved that the Northampton County Council does hereby concur with the recommendation of the county executive as set forth in the attached documentation to approve the contract with Computing Technologies LLC.
Any discussion? Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Millette?
Yes.
Mr. Holland?
Yes.
Ms. Keegan?
Yes.
Mr. Kraft?
Yes.
Mr. Kayum?
Yes.
Margot Hefner?
Yes.
Mr. Warren?
Yes.
Ms. Fadum?
Yes.
Mr. Giovanni?
Yes.
Adopted by a vote of 9-0.
The next Article 13 is County Commissioners Association of PA. Mr. Villette, can you please introduce the resolution?
Now therefore it is hereby resolved that the Northampton County Council does hereby concur with the recommendation of the county executive as set forth in the attached documentation to approve the contract with CCAP.
Any discussion? Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Millette?
Yes.
Ms. Keegan?
Yes.
Mr. Kraft?
Yes.
Mr. Kayum?
Yes.
Ms. Margot Hefner?
Yes.
Mr. Warren?
Yes.
Ms. Fadum?
Yes.
Mr. Giovanni?
I abstain, I'm on the board.
Mr. Holland?
Yes.
Okay, next Article 13 is Easton Coach Company. Mr. Villette, please introduce it.
Now therefore it is hereby resolved that the Northampton County Council does hereby concur with the recommendation of the county executive as set forth in the attached documentation to approve the contract with Easton Coach Company.
Is there any discussion from council?
Ask a question on that. These costs for the bus and leasing the space at Shiloh, was that all factored into the total amount for the parking garage? Like is this in addition to, or was this part of the whole big?
Mealy, Mr. Mealy's here, he'll let you know.
Was it anticipated and included in that, or is this extra?
Yes, that would be included in the contingency, costs as part of the bond. Yeah, we're not seeking any additional funding for that.
Yeah, perfect, thanks.
Any other?
Service will work for just for 12 days in a month?
On average, it's going to vary depending on the court schedules, because we're only going to run the shuttle on busy court days.
Where do we park?
Council members?
At your house.
That's a good question.
Well, the surface lots should be open.
When we come here, so I can still steal John's new spot over there.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Barber?
Is this not to exceed?
I don't, it's just,
Total cost $129.60 total for the 16 months.
Yeah, I believe that's based on the estimated daily rate and the frequency of service.
you may come back to us if the garage isn't fixed in time. I mean, you'll have to come back for an extension.
If
Few
it's
months.
over 10%,
Tick-tock.
I believe, the original.
Any other discussions? Seeing none, call for the vote, please.
Mr. Millette?
Yes.
Mr. Kraft?
Yes.
Mr. Kayum?
Yes.
Margot Hefner?
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Fadum?
Yes.
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 Do the Kleinfelder yet? Last one, D, Kleinfelder Incorporated. Mr. Villette, you're on again.
Now therefore it is hereby resolved that the Northampton County Council does hereby concur with the recommendation of the county executive as set forth in the attached documentation to approve the contract with Kleinfelder Incorporated.
Any discussion on this? It was discussed last night, I believe.
It was.
Call for the vote.
Mr. Bellet?
Yes.
Mr. Keigel?
Yes.
Fargo Hefner?
Yes.
Mr. Warren?
Yes.
Ms. Fadum?
Yes.
Giovanni?
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Keegan?
Yes.
Mr. Kraft?
Yes.
Adopted by a vote of 9 to 0.
Is there any other new business to discuss by county council? You approach? Not really.
Okay, that's your call.
Curious.
Well, we have a candidate for fiscal director here.
Right.
Who got thrown under the bus, and I'm not sure that there was appropriate consideration given to her individual circumstances. It seems rather disrespectful. She's made arrangements to take this job. She's burnt bridges where she's coming from. I'm not sure the opportunity to think this through completely was there. So respectfully, and I know this is out of order, but respectfully, I'd ask you all to reconsider that decision. We could go through a whole veto and all that kind of stuff process, but do we really want to do that for this position? And keep in mind, you're going to have to pay someone a decent wage to get a qualified person for this position. And 109, in our experience, is not going to cut it.
Right, and I agree with you 100%, but they voted the way they voted, and they voted to cut the salary to what it was.
I don't know if on a point of order we can do a reconsideration or not. I'll leave that up to you folks.
Unless the amender wants to re-amend the
No,
amendment.
and I want to say that I think that to offer a salary to someone without coming to county council first is out of order. I think that other people have been hired over many years at the base salary, and I understand that it may not feel fair, but council has the right to set those parameters, and we did. And other people were hired for the same level of position at the same amount of money, and I think we voted, and I don't think we get to double dip and come back, and, it's just
Actually,
unacceptable. I mean, if somebody wants to do
actually-
something later or whatever, but,
Actually, we have appointed people at step 3 as a director of administration. Charles Derdinger comes to mind.
and that was then, and this is now.
So, to get people this is in the past, and it's just merely a discussion, because they're not going to do anything. You saw the vote, so the vote is the vote.
I would merely say, no questioning your right to do this, questioning the wisdom of doing it.
I do the same thing, but thank you. Council committee reports.
No.
Council committee reports. No committee reports? Committee? Mr. Giovanni.
We had a personnel committee meeting yesterday, the reappointments and appointments for the executive. There was some contagious talk about other things that we pushed, like the committee and care, job security, the job description and their salary, and then also the fiscal affairs new person we brought forth.
Thank you. Any other committee reports?
We also had a finance committee meeting. We discussed the stuff we voted for earlier.
Thank you. Any liaison reports?
Yes, Region 6 is hosting a meeting in Harrisburg. Everyone in Region 6, which is this area, received an email. I'm waiting for a response back from anyone who's interested in attending. It will either be June 29th or 30th, and I need your RSVP by tomorrow. Thank you.
Would be at the Capitol Hilton?
It will probably be at the Hilton unless we find another venue very close by, and it's a legislative meeting with legislators from our region.
Thank you. Liaisons? Any other liaison? Seeing none? Council clerk?
Nothing.
Not really? County solicitor?
No report for me.
Can I ask one more question? I'm
We're at
going
the
to do it under the
end.
solicitor's report, so because since it's on the agenda.
We're at the end of the meeting.
I know, I'm just saying that I would like clarification from legal regarding that, step 3. It seems like there's an understanding that you can hire under step 3, which is what the understanding apparently was of the executive, and just some clarification on that, because if we're hiring people, there should not be harm done because there's misinterpretation. So let's have clarification on that to make sure we don't get into this situation moving forward. And if we need to rectify it, then we need to rectify it.
The county executive can hire anybody, any rate they want. County council has to approve it.
Right, but why do I keep hearing that they're allowed to do it at step 3 without our approval?
They can
Is that just
move so many steps without council approval. It's in the home rule charter. You can increase somebody's pay up to 3 steps without council approval.
So then
2,
it's
up to 2.
Okay, so then it seems like that was not a legal vote then.
What, our vote?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. We voted to give it at the beginning. She could start her 2 steps in a week. She could put her up 2 steps. That's their prerogative.
I just want to make sure there's no harm done to the candidate because of our.
There was harm done to the candidate.
Yeah, there's
Well,
definitely
then-
harm done. Good job.
There was harm done. We already said that. I mean, she got offered a job at a certain amount of money, left her job for it. Motion to adjourn.
Yes.